Good morning and welcome to the allotment. Just replacing the paths. One of my jobs for today is to put some new wood chip down in the polytunnel. This is maple wood chip that's been dropped off. So my plan is just to top up the two paths in the polytunnel, and then I've got a bit of planting to do. So I'll carry on doing this and then we'll look at the planting. Okay, this is the last one for this morning. Just got to drop it around the entrance here. Leave that outside and just spread it around. These chippings will settle in and possibly they might need to be topped up in the next few days once I've had time to settle in. Just got to be careful how we walk on these because they're not very even, so just be careful I don't twist my ankle or anything. So that's the paths all had some chippings on. Being in the polytunnel, these will dry out and it should last me the whole of next season. Okay, so need to get on with what I'm going to plant today, but if we look at what I've got to plant, I'm not holding out a great deal of faith that we'll get some produce at the end of the winter, but let's just go down and have a look. Okay, so these were all planted out just over a month ago. They all started off quite well, but we've had to leave them a couple of times when we've been away, and I think they've dried out. And then the other issue we've had is they've been in the conservatory at home, and I think the humidity's got a bit high in there, and that's knocked them back a little bit. But the choice is put them in the bin or plant them out. If I put them in the bin, I'm going to get no crop at all. If I plant them out, I've got a slim chance of getting something from them. Okay, I've dropped the line in. I'm going to plant towards the centre. The reason for that, they're collies and calabrese, and there's a bit of cabbage as well. In fact, yeah, I've got cauliflower Boris, and then I've got quite a bit of calabrese and some winter cabbage. So I'll put the collies and the winter cabbage down this end, I think. So as I was saying, the bed's been prepared. It's had some of my own compost put on top to top it up out of the compost bins, which have been produced, added to all year round. Then it's had some chicken pellets added on the top, and that should be enough. In fact, I'll give you a quick glimpse of the garlic and the winter onions, which are planted in the top bed, and they were on the last video. I planted them out a few weeks ago. I'll put the date somewhere on here when I planted those out. You can see those are the garlics coming through and the winter onions are spurting as well. In the previous video, I planted out the garlic and the winter onions. You can see, hopefully, I'll zoom in a bit more, but you can see that the garlic is coming through. I'm moving quite close. Quite a bit of the garlic is coming through, and also the onions are starting to spurt as well. So that's quite promising. In just a few weeks they've come through, so they should make a fairly good start before the harshness of the winter, and then they should get away quite quickly in the spring. So there's enough goodness in the beds. What I do though with the brassicas is I'm not going to get a harvest off them this side of Christmas. It's going to be probably April, May time when I get a harvest from them, if they come at all. But from March onwards, they will have a liquid feed once every 6 weeks, something like that, just to replenish the goodness in the beds. Okay, so the first thing I've got is a collie. So that can go right up that end. Get these big gloves off. Like I say, the plants aren't particularly good. I think it's a combination of things that's knocked them back, and I've decided to put them in. If they come to anything, great. If they don't, then I haven't lost a great deal. I had a similar problem last year where it was the same circumstances really. We had to go away and leave the seedlings, so they tended to dry out a little bit. Okay, so that's the first ones put in. I'll put them over there. So then we've got, that was terza, cauliflower, and now I'm going to put in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 potentially Boris cauliflowers. As I was saying, we had a similar issue last year, and although we didn't get much, we got some crops, so it's not a bad thing to do to risk putting them in. Like I say, if they don't come to anything, I'm not losing out, because the bed would be empty anyway this time of year. It's really a bit too late, in my view, to start any more seeds off. They're unlikely to come this late in the season, because you want them to try and get started or established before the winter frosts. Don't know how much of the top bed you can see, oh sorry, not the top bed, but the middle bed. But that's had everything put on it at the moment. That's still the one I've got to clear, tidy up. But it's got lots of tubs of carrots still growing away. We've got some carrots outside as well. Put them in there. Okay, so these are now the winter cabbage. Those are really not established at all, but what's interesting is there's 2 in some cells. So I'm not going to separate them out because they're weak plants, but as they grow away, hopefully we'll get a chance to separate them out if they both grow away. Okay, I think I said in the last video, though, the seeper hoses are here, they don't get used in the winter. So those will be, again, we will tend to water these beds throughout the winter. Okay, these won't be fed. None of these plants are going to be fed with liquid feed during the winter months, because they'll just, hopefully what will happen in the next month, November, we're on the 31st of October now, so hopefully by the 30th of November, beginning of December, these plants will establish themselves. They then won't grow much over the winter months, but then come the spring, when the days start to extend out, then they'll start to grow away again, and it's at that point that will add some liquid feed. Okay, I'm going to carry on planting out. That's all the jobs, that'll be all the jobs for today. What we'll do is at the end I'll give you a quick little tour around so you can see what else I've been getting up to in the last couple of weeks. Okay, so I finished planting out the Calabrese. There's 11 of those. There are 1, 2, 3 winter cabbage, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Boris cauliflowers and 2 Therese cauliflowers. Like I say, the plants are weak. Hopefully at least half of them will pick up. If some of the Calabrese pick up where there's double plants, I've still got a chance to separate those out, so I'll check on them in a couple of weeks time. If they're growing away well, then I'll separate as I need to. I've got a little bit of space left in the bed. Okay, so before we finish off, I'll just give you a little tour around to show what else. So I think you've seen I've shown you the top bed in here, and if we just have a little look outside, the cauliflowers and Calabrese in that bed are growing away. Again, that's going to be next year probably when they crop, but because they got a bit delayed. If I just turn around, got lots of beds that need work on, but all the paths have now been done with the new chip-ins, certainly on this part of the allotment. All the pears have now been picked, but we've still got some apples to come off. These are eating apples. This tree is on its last year, potentially in the plot, because it's falling over. We've got some autumn raspberries as well. I need to pick those before I leave today. Okay, so that's it. Just a little tour around the allotment. As you can see, I've done a fair bit of maintenance work over the last couple of weeks. Although, as I said, we have been away as well. But mainly I've concentrated on getting the paths sorted because we had some nice wood chip dropped off. But now it's just a matter of getting all the beds ready for next year, although quite a few of those have been done. So until next time, bye for now. It's the 31st of October, or Halloween, as many people like to call it, and hope you liked the introduction and the flower arrangement that my wife had made.